Hey, how's it going everybody? It's Tanner here and welcome back to a new Ninjago video here on the channel. In today's video we're going to be talking about something a little bit interesting that I've seen, rumble throughout the community, and that is the topic of the Ninjago villain problem. So essentially what this issue is a lot of people have an issue with the series constantly retconning the actual history of the show to introduce some new villain. They've done that with Morrow, they've done that with the Time Twins, and they've most recently done that with Asphira. And I do believe that this is kind of a recurring trend, but I don't consider it a problem necessarily. I guess a lot of folks take a little bit of an issue with things like that, but I really don't consider it to be that big of a deal. Especially considering how the constant retconning of the series actually builds the world up even more and introduces new corners of the timeline that we didn't know originally existed. I mean, that's what happened with all of these other villains that I've previously mentioned. I mean, yeah, it's kind of a repetitive thing again, like I said earlier. Master Wu pulls the ninja aside and he's like, hey, there's something I haven't told you. I trained a student called Morrow. I used to work with 2 elemental masters of time, and I used to be friends with a flaming snake lady. You get what I'm saying here? It's kind of like repetitive, and I understand why people are sick of it, but at the same time, you gotta admit it actually does help the series. Ninjaga's been going on for several years at this point. Several new villains have been introduced and several new, worlds have opened up from Ninjago. I mean, we have an entire ecosystem of realms at this point, and all that's because of the world building and the expanding. So in a way, you kind of have to do that. I do believe, though, that there are other ways of introducing villains besides the whole, hey, Master Wu used to know somebody, and villains have been introduced like that before. I mean, people like Nadakon didn't really have a personal connection to Master Wu or any of the ninja. They're just kind of villains for the sake of being villains. Same with people like Harumi. Harumi wasn't derived from Master Wu. Harumi was derived from her own personal goals and motivation. Yeah, the ninja kind of caused that, but that's not the same thing. A Ninjago villain being brought up from history and a Ninjago villain being created from history are two separate things. If the Ninjago villain existed in the earlier timeline, yeah, we've got a few of those, and we've seen that plenty of times. But we've also seen a lot of unique villains that kind of strive against that and kind of create their own origin stories without having to rely on Master Wu or the past history of Ninjago. Like the Iron Baron, for example. Nobody really knew about the Iron Baron because he existed in a completely different realm. He didn't really have any ties with Master Wu personally until Season 9 actually came out. Even when you look in this current season, yeah, Asphira kind of seems like the typical, hey, brought up from Ninjago's history type of villain, but then you have somebody like the Ice Emperor, who again, really don't know what his story is, but he could very well be a new villain from an entirely new realm that nobody has ever heard of before. I mean, those villains exist from Ninjago as well, so I don't think it's fair to say that Ninjago has a problem with villains, because in reality, there's not a lot of villains that Master Wu just kind of pulls out of the air, just, hey, here's a villain that I haven't told you about, something like that. In reality, there's not really a whole bunch of them. It's kind of just, if they tie into the history properly, then I'm fine with it. And I do agree that, random villains appearing from the history is kind of repetitive. But again, you have to fill that timeline somehow. So it's kind of a weird thing to talk about, but I hope you guys understood what I was saying in this video. And I hope you guys have a few thoughts regarding this as well. As always, if you do, feel free to leave those down below in the comments. I look forward to reading what you guys come up with. With all that being said, you guys, thank you so much for watching this video once again. If you enjoyed the video, as always, don't forget to give it a huge thumbs up rating. And of course, remember to hit that subscribe button if you've not done so already. Once again, guys, the comment section is there for the various discussions that you would like to have regarding this topic, or if you just had a comment of a general nature, that's fine as well. In the description, you'll find the links towards my other forms of social media, whether it be my Twitter, my Instagram, my Patreon, or my merch. Be sure to support me on all of those platforms if you would like to. With all that being said, you guys, thank you so much for watching this video once again. My name is TannerFishies, and with that, I bid you farewell.